Welcome back to the Montana State Bobcat Dynasty on NCAA 06, and today we're going to be recapping the penultimate season. Texas A&M, a clear number one, no votes towards anyone else, followed by Iowa, Ohio State, Miami, NC State, Oklahoma State, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, USC, South Carolina, Cal, Maryland, UCLA, Texas Tech, Virginia Tech, Wisconsin, San Diego State, Purdue, Michigan, Penn State, SMU, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Kansas State to round out the top 25. The Bobcats are once again Big Sky champions with a 10-3 record. Idaho in second with just 8 wins. Then you got Sacramento State 5-6, followed by NAU, Portland State, Idaho State, Eastern Washington, Weber State, and the Montana Grizzlies finished 3-8. Bob Young is going to win the Heisman, 1,200 rushing yards, 13 receptions for over 200 yards, 21 total touchdowns, and his quarterback finishes second with over 3,000 passing yards, 48 touchdowns. BYU's quarterback threw for over 5,000 yards, and he had himself 59 touchdowns, an insane year from him. San Diego State's quarterback had 46 total touchdowns on the season, and then Texas A&M's number one wide receiver finishes 5th on the list. There's a reason they are number one. Kevin Fuller finishes in 6th place for the quarterback award there, as you saw. Bernard Drick, Robert Alexander finishes in 2nd. Jimmy Kent's going to finish in 6th. For Best Quarterback Award, Kevin Fuller once again is going to be coming in 6th place there. Mann is going to win the award for Best Running Back, interesting enough. Best Wide Receiver, that goes to the homeboy there from Wyoming. Best Tight End, Texas A&M. Best Offensive Lineman, Montana State Bobcats represent number 1 and number 2 on the list. The Lombardi goes to that defensive tackle. Best Linebacker, Robert Alexander gets an honorable mention all the way down there at 12. Ross, also from A&M, he wins the Thrope Award. Best kicker you see there. Best punter also went to Texas A&M. Best return man went to A&M as well. They are all over the place here. And then Coach Choate gets 11th for Best Coach in the Nation. Looking at the All-Americans, Brad Boyd's going to make an appearance on there from all of his punt returns he had this season. I believe he had 6 of them. Maybe one of them was a kick return. He had himself a great season. Obviously, Daughtry, he wins Best Offensive Lineman, so you got to put him on the first team All-Americans. Corey Johnson, he finished 2nd on the list. He's got to make the team as well. For the second team, Adam Weaver, our 5'5" guard, has made the team. You'll love to see him succeed. In the Big Sky Conference All-Team now, Kevin Fuller's the quarterback. Brad Boyd, obviously, he's going to make an appearance on there. We also have Daughtry, Weaver, Johnson, and Kevin Thomas, as you see there, making the list. Like 3 of our offensive linemen there. A defensive end, Robert Alexander, led the nation in sacks with 16, so of course he's going to be up there. Brett Garrett's on that list, as is Anthony Parquette. For the second team, Chris Hansen, despite having just 10 receptions and just under 200 yards, makes the list. And then pretty much the rest of our offensive line is going to be making the second team All-Big Sky. Brandon Wheeler, defensive tackle, he made it. Cole Hurd is on this list as well with his mix of interceptions and sacks. And Gabriel Fields, he's not the greatest kicker in the world, but he was good enough to make second team this season. Just under 2,000 passing yards for Kevin Fuller, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Ross Lewis, when he had to play, was all right, especially for a wide receiver playing quarterback. But Fuller, the inconsistencies throughout his career continue. He did lead the team in rushing, 88 attempts for 757 yards and 12 touchdowns. Ryan Carter did all right as well, over 600 yards, 6 touchdowns for him. Cronin had over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. We had ourselves a pretty good run game despite not having a 1,000-yard rusher. Receiving goes to Marcus Lumpkin. He led us in receptions, in yards, and in touchdowns. That's because Will Black missed like the last 4 or 5 games of the season. Pretty big loss in him for the second half of the year. Ross Lewis, when he wasn't playing quarterback, was a pretty good wide receiver, just really an all-around gadget player. He got snaps at receiver, quarterback, running back, maybe the next Troy Anderson on the squad. Obviously, the offensive line played spectacular this season. Vincent Daughtry allowed the most sacks on the team, and he still won Best Offensive Lineman in the nation. Alexander and Kent are number 1 and number 2 linebackers when it comes to tackles and TFLs. 24 there for Robert Alexander. This team kept getting into the backfield, whether it was to running backs or to the quarterback. 16 times Robert Alexander got to the quarterback. That's 40 times he made some form of a tackle for loss this season. Just an insane year from him, and I would not be surprised if he declares for the draft and heads towards the NFL. Anthony Parquette led the team with 4 interceptions. Anthony Ross, the other safety, with 3. Jimmy Kent, he had himself a couple of interceptions. And then Robert Alexander with the pick 6 in the first game of the season. 6 forced fumbles there by Jimmy Kent. I mean, this is just a deadly linebacker duo that we're definitely going to miss. Jimmy Kent, of course, is a senior, and then Robert Alexander, a junior. But as I already said, he will probably be declared for the draft with this spectacular season that he had. The defense also came away with 5 touchdowns, whether it be pick 6s or scoop and scores. Gabriel Fields was good enough to make out the second team all Big Sky. 75% of his kicks went through. And then Brad Boyd, 5 punt return touchdowns. The 6th touchdown that he had on the season came on the goal line. So now we're going to take a look at the national championship game. We've got Ohio State taking on Texas A&M. A quick look at their stats. Their quarterback is doing pretty all right, just under 2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. So similar to Kevin Fuller so far, but he had 7 less interceptions and a much better completion percentage. Hunter Lawson's one of the better running backs in the nation, almost 1,000 yards for him. Looking at the receiving, Jones is their number 1 receiver there, statistically speaking at least. They got themselves a pretty good offensive line as well. You probably saw Fontenot didn't get sacked often this season. Defensively, they look pretty good on paper. I mean, there's obviously a reason they're playing in the championship game, but looking at Texas A&M, they just look all around better. Ryan Turner, the runner-up for the Heisman, 48 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, but he was sacked almost 40 times this season. Bob Young, the Heisman winner, had 1,200 yards, 18 rushing touchdowns. John Johnson, the number 1 receiver here and one of the best receivers in the nation, almost 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. Their biggest weakness on offense will be the offensive line, though, as we saw almost 40 sacks on the quarterback, and that might be where Ohio State's able to capitalize in today's game. Look at the TFLs on the defense, though. There are 3 guys with over 20 tackles for loss and 2 guys with 11 sacks. I mean, on paper, Texas A&M is definitely the favorites, and of course, there's a reason they are number 1. They just look much more dominant on offense and on defense, but Ohio State has a chance to pull off the upset here. We did take on the Buckeyes actually going back to week 4. We ended up losing that contest 28-48, so we kind of stuck around with them, but still ended up losing by 20. They're going to get the football to start off tonight's game. Pass is going to be caught in the flat by the running back, and he's going to get brought down by the face mask, giving them an automatic first down. Fontenot slinging this one to the right side. It's going to be caught despite the 2 defenders in the area. Big play there for the Ohio State. Cooking inside of the red zone off of the play fake and off of the hands of his tight end. That needs to be a touchdown from Edwards, but instead they're going to have to try again. Here's a run by Lawson, breaking a tackle, and he's got himself a first down for the Buckeyes. Goal to go from the 5, and they're going to hand this one off to the tight end, and he's in. Aaron Graham, a little bit of trickery there from Ohio State, and they're going to take the lead first. It's not often a tight end gets himself a rushing touchdown. He scores first in this contest. Texas A&M with their first possession of the football, and they come up clutch on 3rd and long, getting out to midfield. Toss play here to Bob Young, and he's going to get taken down. Big time loss of 6. Dropping back to throw, moving around into the pocket, and he's going to run out of time. Not sacked, but he does throw the incompletion. Ohio State wouldn't do anything with it, so back on offense is Texas A&M, and Turner's going to be sacked. 2nd down, or actually 3rd down and long, slinging that one to the right side, right into the hands of the defender. Reggie Birch with the interception, and on the return, he gets Ohio State just some great field position here for their ensuing drive. but they're going to be faced with a third down. Fontenot moving around in the pocket, firing a strike over the middle, and that's going to be an Ohio State touchdown. Great reception there by Lane. 23-yard strike there by Fontenot, and they're just like that. They got themselves the 14-point lead, and they got the football back. Texas A&M coughs it up, and they're going to take over inside of the red zone. Looking to make this a 3-score game. They're going to give it to Graham again, and the tight end has a second rushing touchdown. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And just like that, the Buckeyes are up 21-0 with under 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Nice catch made in the flat there as A&M just looking for something to happen. As you can see, the fans on the sidelines just very anxious. Off of the play fake now, Turner rolling to his left. He's going to stop and fire that one downfield. Catch is going to be made down the left sideline. That's going to be a Texas A&M touchdown. John Johnson coming up clutch. Now off of the kickoff, Ohio State's going to have 1:30 left to work with. On the return now to the right side, gets across the 40-yard line, across the 50, brought down in Texas A&M territory, and they might have enough for another touchdown before the end of this half. But they play it kind of conservatively, a couple of runs and then an incomplete pass. They're going to give the ball right back to A&M. Here's a direct snap to Young, making a couple of defenders miss as he takes this one to the right side, makes a third player miss. It takes the fourth player to get to him to bring him down, showing off why he's the Heisman winner. Turner dropping back to throw, launching this one downfield, and it's going to be tipped into the hands of his receiver. Michael Ford is in for the touchdown. Wow, a bad overthrow from Ryan Turner. That pass deserved to be picked off, but instead, the Ohio State defender tipped it right into the hands of Ford, and that's going to make it just a 7-point game at halftime. The Buckeyes really letting the Aggies get back into this game. Ohio State's going to have the football in the second half here as A&M does nothing on their first drive. Handoff is going to go to Hunter yet again. He's going to get spun around and pick up another first down. Handoff goes to him yet again. A&M's defense having a hard time stopping him, stiff-arming defenders, and fighting for every yard there, cooking inside of the red zone. But they got to convert this third down here. Pass to the left side's going to be broken up. Tight coverage there played by the Aggies defense. 4th down and 8, and the Buckeyes are going to settle for a field goal. Kick is up, and it is no good. Too far to the right, and A&M is going to take over the football, and it's just a 1-score game. Give it to Bob Young, and he's going to pick up the first down there. Only 30 rushing yards on the game, though, for Texas A&M. Turner's going to launch this one deep to the left side, and pass is going to be caught. John Johnson for his second touchdown of the night, and just like that, the Aggies have come back from a 21-point deficit, a 67-yard bomb. Ohio State wouldn't do anything on the ensuing drive, so now punting the football away. Bob Young, he won best returner in the nation, and he's going to do it here on the biggest of all stages. Down the left sideline, he is gone. A&M takes their first lead of the game, a 77-yard punt return. Ohio State, now the pressure is on as they have lost all the momentum so far. Pass to the left side is going to be caught. Great catch there by Lane, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Pass is going to be picked off here down the right sideline. Jameis Wells, this is going to be a pick six. Texas A&M showing off why they are #1 in the nation. Now enjoying a 2-score lead with under 4 minutes left to go. Handoff is going to go to Hunter Lawson, and he's going to pick up a first down, but you got to think they might want to play a little bit more aggressively. Here's another run. He's going to break a tackle, and maybe running the ball is aggressive enough right now. 137 yards on the game for Lawson. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They give it to him again, and that's going to be another gain of 15. 80 yards after contact for Lawson on today's game, and he continues to run this for 7 or 8 yards a carry. Fullback dive now right up the middle, and that's going to make it a goal-to-go situation for the Buckeyes. Down to the goal line, they're going to punch this one in with Hunter Lawson. He barely crosses the plane, and it's all of a sudden a 7-point game with under 2 minutes left to go. Pass here is going to be caught, but shy of the sticks for Texas A&M. They're going to be giving the football back to Ohio State. So no, they have a chance to tie this game up. Throwing that one into some traffic. It's going to be caught. It's a foot race. They catch him from behind down to the 22-yard line, cooking just outside of the red zone. Great catch and run there by Nichols. Here's a high snap for Fontenot, firing a strike over the middle, up top for his tight end, and that's going to be another touchdown here for Ohio State. What a throw, what a catch. Edwards with redeeming what was a dropped touchdown earlier in the game. Texas A&M going deep on third down, nothing there. So now hoping for overtime, but Ohio State has the ball with just about 20 seconds left to go. Fontenot going deep with this one. He's got Lawson. That's going to be a Buckeyes touchdown. 66 yards. Wow, burning the defense. Unbelievable. This has got to be the craziest game we have seen in any national championship throughout all 12 years of this series. 16 seconds left to go now. Does Texas A&M have a miracle in them? No! Pass is going to be intercepted. The game-sealing pick. Ohio State is going to be winning the national championship despite being the underdogs going into this game, despite giving up a 21-point lead and giving up 35 points straight to Texas A&M. This was just a big back and forth. Ohio State scored 21 straight, then Texas A&M scores 35 straight, but the Buckeyes come back 21 straight to win the game. What an unbelievable contest here. That's going to be a wrap on today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this insane game, go ahead and leave a like on the video. It's always really appreciated. And until next time, this has been Jeffrey, reminding you to stay moist.